Novi. It's a very special edition today, and with me here, right out in the neighborhoods of Novi, is our very own City Manager, Clay Pearson. Welcome, Clay.
Thank you for coming.
And our Director of Public Services and City Engineer, Rob Hayes. Welcome.
Hi, Sheryl. Thanks.
We're here to talk about a very, very important topic, which will actually go before the voters of the City of Novi on August 7th, and that is an upcoming municipal road millage question. Clay, you want to just give us a little bit of background on the question and where the notion of additional road millage funds came from?
Well, every year we struggle a little bit at the budget time in trying to make our dollars available for neighborhood road improvements, for our matches on the major roads to go as far as possible. And Rob and his crew, I think, have taken us as far as we possibly can with available monies. But there's still more to be done. It's one thing I think that we're good at, but not great. And the only way, after a lot of analysis and studies, and we've avoided this for as long as possible, but the only way to make it better is to get some more money into the system, and so that we can have funds that'll be dedicated for Novi roads for improvements that we all want to see happen.
Currently, the City of Novi has, I believe, a great neighborhood roads program and street improvement program. We invest, what, Rob, maybe over $2-3 million a year?
Total on average is about $3.2 million per year. That's both construction as well as maintenance that we do in-house or with contractors.
Okay, but obviously we're sitting here right in a neighborhood, in our own community, and the roads definitely need some repair. Why would we tell the Novi community that the $3 million we're investing isn't going the distance? What's going to happen over the long haul?
Well, we're fighting an uphill battle. We've with the $3.2 million we currently invest, it just isn't sufficient to keep our good streets in good condition. We've had a formal study performed recently that shows if we continue the status quo, that our overall pavement condition citywide is going to continue to decline despite that $3.2 million annual investment.
So if the millage was to pass in August, what would that do? What would happen? How many more dollars would be invested in roads, and what would we see happen?
It would add approximately $2.2 million more in road funds so that we could further improve our neighborhood streets and our major roads.
Okay, so that additional $2.2 million would go towards neighborhoods, Novi roads that we maintain, our major roads in the community, correct?
Yeah, we would strike an equitable balance so that the fair share of neighborhood streets versus major streets are done, and that's based on lane miles. So approximately 65% of the increased millage would go towards neighborhood streets, 25% to major roads, and the remaining 10% we would invest in pathways and sidewalk improvements.
Of course, Clay, we all know the big question on everybody's mind is are my taxes going to go up? What's the cost to me? And we're telling people there's a really good part of the story with what just happened in the 2012-13 budget with City Council.
As you've shared in a couple different mediums, with the budget that we're going to be working under starting July 1, this total city tax rate is actually decreasing from the long-standing 10.5 and change to 10.2. So it's a relatively small amount of dollars, but it is $1 million less that we're going to be levying in property taxes, and we're not going to have to reduce services whatsoever by that. So it's a great story. The other part of that is with this charter millage question that'll be before voters on August 7 for their consideration. In our projections, at least for the next 3 years, and I'd sit here comfortably and tell you that going beyond that, we'd be able to maintain that's still 10.2 rate. We'd be able to do that by a combination of some debt that's falling off, some forced reductions in some of the other millage rates, and then we've got some flexibility with the stormwater drain components. So, council's been very, upfront and conservative in saying we don't want to go out there and say it's absolutely positively, but by the same token, all the signs are that we'd be able to maintain that total 10.2, even if this were to pass on August 7th. So, I think we've done our best job that we can in terms of giving the information, and the public's going to have to decide whether they want to direct these additional monies into neighborhood roads or not.
We actually, that's a great point, a great segue you bring up. We actually created an informational fact sheet that Novi community members can download. It's right on the website at cityofnovi.org. The homepage, there is a road map, a map to the municipal road millage icon. Click on there, it gives all the information. One of the things I think when I was looking at all the information and putting it together that amazed me, well, there was a few things. Novi has held the same road millage, the 1.0 mils or 1 mil for 40 years. And if you look at a map of what Novi's road looked like, or you know, how many roads, lane miles we had, I guess you would say, in 1970-71, fast forward to 2011-12, it is absolutely astonishing. Do you have those figures? I bet you do.
Yeah, our number of lane miles citywide has increased over, or almost threefold. So a significant amount. And like you said, that millage has been kept constant over the years.
So we have been operating and trying to not only maintain roads, but we have added roads, and all of that under the same tax structure for the past 40 years. And I guess I say that loosely because the Headley actually rolled back that.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it gets complicated, but the charter maximum is 1.0, and as you're alluding to, it's actually been pushed down to 0.77. So even if we go back up to 1.5 or go to 1.5 like we're suggesting, you know, that'll get eroded with Headley and other kinds of things over time as well. So it's a maximum. We are not obligated to levy that by any stretch, but you know, we've got this immediate need, and I certainly believe that the inclination would be to go to that 1.5 and then lower the other rates to keep to the total.
The fact sheet that I alluded to in the city's website has a handy little calculator. If someone is watching this and says, you know what, I want to know what this means to me, you actually can put in the market value of your home. There's a little simple formula that's a multiplier. You actually just fill it in, click it, and it tells you. And I mean, I think for what is it, a $250,000 home, it's like $90 a year, something around that, approximately.
That'd be the additional monies that would go into the roads from this. And like I said, it gets complicated, but you know, we believe that you know, all our projections that the total city rate would stay the same. But you're right, that's what would additionally be going into neighborhood roads from any individual. And you know, it's important to keep in mind that of the total property taxes, the city is only what do we say, like 23% of the total property tax bill. You know, the rest of it goes to schools and so forth. So, you know, for that percentage that the city takes, you know, we're able to provide police services, fire, parks and recreation, roads, stormwater, all these different things. So it's a good package, and you know, we want to try to keep that balance. And the numbers that we came up with, you know, from that study in OHM, you know, this is based on these pretty thorough analyses, and it's not taken off thin air. As you said, the same millage rate is basically, or less, has kept us going for 40 years, and you know, times have changed, and we need to keep up.
Rob, we're sitting here in Country Place today, and the people that are watching our show go, okay, they're actually saying that our roads look like this. How would someone know if their roads would be replaced? How does the city determine what roads be, you know, upgraded, enhanced, or reconstructed, etc.?
Sure. Each 2 years, we study each piece of pavement within the city. We send out a team of engineers, and they objectively take a look at the condition of each segment of pavement and assign a numerical value to that pavement condition. It ranges from on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being poor, 10 being excellent. And we keep that information updated, like I said, every 2 years. So it's fairly recent and reliable data. And if an individual wants to see how his or her street has been rated, you can go to cityofnovi.org and the road millage link, and you'll see our we call it a PASER map, or pavement surface evaluation rating map on the site.
If I could jump in a little bit on there. We've done some public information meetings. We're willing to go out and talk to any group, big or small. But one of the questions come up is about that study and wanting to know, you know, how an individual street ranks. But the other one is that sidewalk and pathways, which is becoming an increasingly important part of our transportation network. And there is likewise a study that's available on that cityofnovi.org for the sidewalk gaps. And we've gone through and analyzed and scored those. We've got a plan that we're working through. And if we get some extra funds towards that, we'll be able to do that much more every year.
So we've talked about the upcoming millage and all the good things that are going to happen if it is so passes. What would happen if the road millage doesn't pass in August?
If it doesn't pass, we will continue to invest approximately $3.2 million per year. And one of the outcomes of the study, I should mention, that an engineering consultant firm, Orchard Hills in McClimate, OHM, one of the outcomes was that they plotted a projection for the next 10 years if we maintain the status quo as far as funding is concerned. And their analysis showed that the overall pavement condition or PASER rating of our streets would continue to decline over the next 10 years and beyond that. So that would be the outcome, I guess, of what would happen in the future is our streets would continue to deteriorate, although we would continue with our program of investment.
You know, we sit here and we talk about all the great things about Novi each and every time we host a show like this. It starts with obviously our location in the schools and the world-class retail that's here and the businesses that choose to locate here. But they choose to locate here because of the quality infrastructure that Novi is known for. People not only choose to do business, but to live here because the houses maintain their value and the neighborhoods are nice. And it's these things, it's the roads, it's the water, the sewer that we all take for granted that we really need to continue investing in. And I know you and Rob are obviously aware of it, but it's the community. It's obviously public safety plays into it too, but it's the infrastructure that is such a key component of everything we do.
And it's been heartening through some of these early public information meetings that people respond and realize that pretty clearly. They understand that roads are a pretty fundamental piece of life. I mean, it's reality you got to get around, and it matters towards quality of life, but also quality of value in terms of how the housing stock is maintained. And we've been very fortunate, as you mentioned, for a lot of different reasons. And economic development, people need to be able to get around freely and not get gummed up, through congestion, things like that. So all this helps, and that's why I think we're excited to present the opportunity, and we'll see where it goes.
Any closing thoughts, my friend?
Just to let the public know, 3 years ago we embarked on an asset management program for roads that's more holistic. What we do is we invest, take some of the monies and invest them in keeping good roads in good condition, working on fair roads, but then of course also working on the worst of the worst to ensure that those get addressed. So should this proposal get passed in August, we would continue with that strategy. Some money would go towards the good roads, some to fair and some to poor.
Very nice. Well, I encourage anyone that's watching, if they'd like more information, to visit cityofnovi.org. They can visit the Civic Center to pick up an informational sheet. We were going to have a display out at Farmers Market, one of the things that is very visible in the community every Saturday morning. And at most community events, there'll be one of us will be there. And like Clay mentioned, if someone's interested in having one of us or all of us attend a meeting out in the community, please contact us. Our name is on the sheet. We're available through the website, but please contact us because we're more than willing to answer your questions firsthand.
Thanks for having us out here.
Not a problem. Thanks for coming, and thanks for being out on this absolutely beautiful day. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Update Novi, and please continue to watch Novi Television. Take care.